Okay, bueno mi gente, Calix Boxing here. Hit that sub button for nightly boxing videos. Sergiy Derevyanchenko versus Tureano Johnson happened tonight, and Derevyanchenko was just too much for Johnson. A good card on Fox Sports 1 tonight, and it's good to see fights like I love fights like this and cards like this on Friday nights, the smaller cards between up and coming guys and guys at their crossroads. There used to be more fights like this when ESPN was doing Friday night fights. They shut that down, unfortunately. And Showtime isn't showing Showbox as much on Friday night fights, so it's just a little frustrating with that. But a good card on Friday night tonight between this and then the fight before Centeno Jr. with possibly the knockout of the year so far. I'll get to that in a separate video, but as far as this fight goes, I was looking forward to seeing Derevyanchenko step up against Tureano Johnson. His biggest win so far was against Sam Solomon, an old, very old Sam Solomon at this point. So the verdict's still out on this guy. Tureano Johnson was a step up, but still, um, it's going to be even bigger step up when he gets to the top 5 in the division and starts facing those guys. BoxRec has him at like number 7 right now, so he's in the top 10 middleweights. But once he starts with fighting these top 5 guys, I think some of these flaws are going to show, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But he showed a lot of promise tonight. Very good fight by him. He has very good lateral movement, and one thing that surprises me for a guy who with such vast amateur experience like he has coming out of Ukraine, a lot of guys in that block of the world have extensive amateur experience. And guys who generally have that much amateur experience like he has, I think he had over 400 fights in his amateur career, almost 400 wins. So another guy from that block of the world who was a great amateur. But generally, guys like that aren't great body punchers, aren't good body punchers, because with that amateur style in the scoring system, it doesn't reward body punching. But he's one of them. He's a good body puncher. He showed that tonight. Went to the body, went back upstairs, mixed up his punches, understood where to shoot his shots, because Tureano Johnson switched up his style in the second or third round. Once he realized that he wasn't going to be able to control pace and distance, he started with the winky right style and started walking him down with the peekaboo style, try to walk through his shots and then land something big on the inside, throw a lot of punches on the inside and try to see what would stick. And in doing that, he left himself wide open for uppercuts, and Derevyanchenko understood that and started shooting those uppercuts through the guard. And when you put your hands up like that in that peekaboo style, you also leave your body open. And he started to shoot those shots to the side of the body and was landing at will on Tureano Johnson with that. I thought he was going to get the stoppage in the middle rounds, but Johnson just showed some resolve, and he had his moments in the fight, had some good moments, got outclassed and got beat pretty easy, but still showed his moments and still showed that he has a lot of heart. And he wanted to win the fight. Even when he got stopped in the 12th round, he was still going for it, and props to him for that. But he was just outclassed tonight. And you saw it in the first round when he came out and tried to control distance, tried to fight at his distance, use the jab and whatnot, then realized it wasn't going to work against this guy and tried to walk him down, like I said, with that peekaboo style, and tried to turn it into that type of fight. But of course, Derevyanchenko played right into that. He loves that type of fighting. He let his hands go, welcomed that. And like I said, he was moving side to side. He has very good lateral movement. Good lateral movement. As Johnson was walking in, he just stepped to the side, fake one way, go the other way sometimes, and shoot those shots to the body. And then, like I said, when Johnson was going with that peekaboo style, he would shoot those uppercuts right at him. So he understood where to shoot his shots. He understood timing, where to land his combinations, puts combinations together very well, was shooting those uppercuts. And those were the two placements where his shots were wide open, where Johnson was showing his flaws, was the uppercuts with that peekaboo style, was shooting them straight through the guard and then going right back downstairs, because Johnson was blinding himself with that style and had his arms a little too high, and Derevyanchenko was shooting those body shots to the side. So the next question is, where does Derevyanchenko go from here? He showed his promise, made a little step up tonight. So he's climbing that ladder, 11 fights in at this point, but has the vast amateur experience and had the World Series of Boxing experience as well. So a lot more experience than a guy with 11 wins. As you see from guys like Lomachenko and other guys, like I said, from that block of the world, they have a lot more experience than their record shows. So where does he go from here? To me, he's not quite ready. This was an IBF eliminator for Gennady Golovkin's belt. Golovkin obviously fighting Canelo in a couple weeks. So the winner of that would have the IBF belt, and he would be their mandatory. I don't think he's quite ready for that yet. I think he's a 2 or 3 fights away from that. So I'd like to see him in that second tier of middleweights. To me, that first tier is Golovkin, Canelo, and Danny Jacobs. Then you have that second tier of guys like Lemieux and what's the guy? Billy Joe Saunders. That's that second tier guy. So I'd love to see him fight Lemieux. That would be a hell of a fight. 2 guys who don't want to go backwards. I would favor Derevyanchenko in that. I think he's a little more sharp than Lemieux, but that'd be a big step up once again for Derevyanchenko, going from Tureano Johnson, his best fighter on his resume so far, besides Sam Solomon, and going up to Lemieux. That'd be a good step up. So I'd like to see him against a guy like Lemieux or Billy Joe Saunders. Whether he gets those fights next, I don't know, but that's what I want to see. I want to see him take that next step up. A guy who's 31, so let's see him move his fight career along. Don't mess around. So Derevyanchenko looked good on his way to 12th round stoppage. Hit me up. Let me know what y'all thought about this fight. Peace.